guys, so this one's gonna be a different kind of video than I've done recently because I haven't done a sketchbook tour in quite some time. I know I did the redo kind of like going back over all my sketchbooks, but I haven't done a fully finished sketchbook tour, and that's because I'm still not done with mine, because I keep starting a bunch more and then I just prefer digital work over like sketchbook work. But like, so this is my main sketchbook, main as in this is the one that is the official sketchbook tour one. This is how far I've gotten in it, out of this much, and I started it December of 2022. So this is a long runner. I clearly can't finish this by the end of the year, but I'm trying to work in it more. I should probably actually start carrying it with me to school. But what I have done is been using sketchbooks for my classes. I'm sorry, my glasses are like, yeah, no, I'm not doing that. My glasses are being reflective, but you guys aren't going to see my face actually too much in this video. But I have finished 2 sketchbooks for my college classes. This one was a little bit different. I started this as like a junk sketchbook that like the thought was like I would never show anybody, because the issue with this one is that I definitely try to make it really pretty so that it's like a good sketchbook tour, but I only use it when I feel like I'm going to draw something pretty, whereas this, I will draw anything. So I think this one definitely came first, but this one came later. So we're gonna look at this one first. I started it in June 10th, 2023. I wrote the wrong date. I wrote 2024 there, but it's actually 2023. And I don't know when I finished it. I believe sometime, I didn't technically finish it because there's a bunch of blank pages at the end, but the last page is from sometime last year, because the last page is like this old D&D character. But we're going to take a look at both of these so you can kind of see what a sketchbook actually should look like for me, or like what sketchbook actually looked like for me, rather than the super prettied up ones that I used to make. Also, I just thought it'd be like fun because I have been making a lot of videos and I just have these sketchbooks that I'm sitting on, and I actually just bought another one of these Canson sketchbooks. That's what this is. I just sticker bombed to the front, and it's even bigger. It's about, like, it comes out to like here. It's like 11 by 14, and that one's really fun to draw in. It's like, I forgot how much I liked drawing traditionally when I'm not trying to make something purposefully really pretty. I don't have my second camera with me right now. I'm kind of impulsively recording this while my boyfriend's at work, so you're not going to be able to see my face. I'm just going to be like face cam down. So I'm going to move the camera, we're going to go into it. But yeah. So again, this is the cover of the sketchbook. It's just a bunch of random stickers. This Scream one. Yeah, these are just like Amazon packs of stickers. I don't even really know where to tell you where I got them. And then these 2, I think, were from my mom. And they're just moody cats, and I think it's funny. But that's the back. So ignore that this page is lying, because that says 2023. So this is back during my senior year. Why am I doing that? This is back during my senior year of high school, and I was trying to make the different face shapes for all my characters, but I don't like it. I think all the notes are still kind of like the same, but I don't like how any of them look here. There really isn't much to say about a lot of these. Like, some of them are pose studies, some of them are just like bad, but this was the sketchbook where I was allowing myself to be bad. That's the thing. Just like random faces, a little Hollow Knight. This is this thing I've had in my head for a while. I think this is my first like favorite page of the sketchbook. I just like the anatomy, and I like to trying to do different head shapes, and like kind of trying to break my same face syndrome that I have. Oh, there's my boyfriend. Yeah, there's not going to be much to say about a lot of these. That's the thing. But yeah, trying to figure out how to draw Cole's face when he's younger, like trying to give him a baby face. That's kind of what this one was about. I figured out I could turn my book to the side, and I filled it up with all these doodles. I really like this one. I remember liking this, and oh, I like that one as well. Yeah, that's the username. This is actually by Mutual on Instagram now, but I was really inspired by how they draw faces, so I think I was just studying that. This turned into Medusa for some reason. I think I just wanted to draw like an extreme pose. I'm sad that they got all smudged up, but I remember really liking this. And these are cute too. Another one to the side. Yeah, this one's cute. The rest are kind of meh. Oh, this must have been my first year of college when we had an assignment to make like draw ourselves in the style of another, like a pre-existing show, and this is actually Ethel Kane. I think that's actually Ethel Kane. And I chose to draw myself in Evangelion. So I was doing, my iPad at the time was not behaving. It was not a good iPad. I mean, it was good. It was good. It served me well. But she was not doing what she was supposed to, and she would not work during class. So I was trying to do studies of the Evangelion art style during class while my iPad wasn't working. And yeah, just like some, is that supposed to be a foot? Okay. Just like foot studies, because they're kind of hard to draw, but also kind of easy to draw. Like, these look kind of funky, but I know what I'm doing, ish. Not really, because again, they look funky, but whatever. And then like hand studies and like different mouths, more hands. This is another Ava thing. I'm trying to draw like very loose, baggy clothes, I guess. Yeah, I remember liking this page. This one was pretty good. Just trying to figure out random anatomy, just doodling stuff. And then, yeah, same. This was like insane foreshortening. Why was I doing that? I don't know. I wish they had clothes on, because this looks weird. They're supposed to have clothes on, but it's like Tyler teaching Cole how to play guitar. I think that's cute. I actually really like the perspective of this. This is kind of interesting. I think this was supposed to be like a doodle of a full piece, but that never came to be. These are cute. His face is wonky, but the spirit's there. Oh! These are notes that you guys can't see, that you probably read anyways. And this was another thing. I might have been making this honestly for a TikTok, like a tutorial thing, because I get questions on there like every couple months on how to like do anatomy and things, and I'm like, I don't even know how to tell you that. Just draw, just look at things. But yeah, trying to like break down shapes into a distinctive facial style. And like, here's some little bitty eyes and noses. And yeah, I draw so tiny because again, the normal size I'm used to is this big compared to this one. So yeah, I kind of like how these are really expressive poses. These ones are kind of stiff, but yeah, these must have been some figure studies for class. Oh, we're getting into last year, my second year of college, where I mainly filled up this sketchbook for my illustration class. We had to do 40 thumbnails for like, it was a whole thing. But yeah, I ended up starting using the sketchbook in class more, so still trying to push all those facial things, so like the wide point of the face being the lower jaw, the wide point being the cheekbones, wide point being the forehead. I don't really follow that. I don't remember what this is, if I'm being for real. I don't know what this is. Here are some notes on composition that have never helped me because I'm really bad at composition. This was an assignment where we had to draw 50 different lines. I swear that the illustration assignments were very weird. This one's pretty cool though. like some cool stuff comes out of it, but like other times I'm just like, this is very strange for classwork. These were thumbnails for an assignment where we had to, I think, make a book cover. I wish I went with this. I ended up going with this design and I got kind of a bad grade on it, as in, I think it got an 85. And I was really mad about it, but I also didn't put a lot of effort into it. But I really like this spiral. These are all for the secret history, by the way. You can kind of read the notes I was taking there of like trying to convey the meaning. But I actually really like this. Yeah, here's some like perspective and foreshortening stuff and like perspective with objects. This is that little foxy keychain I have, if you guys remember from my what's in my bag video. Yeah, perspective, blocks, cities, a value apple, thumbnails for this piece I made where we had to do one about Aesop's Fable, and it was on a scratch board, so like a clay board where you scratch it off. I ended up going with this one. It looks really cool. It's on my wall right now. These are some notes on color. I don't know. Color is something that I feel like I don't understand, but like I just kind of get anyways. And then these are like notes on color theory in an emotional sense, so like what kind of emotions and kind of what associations we have for certain colors. I don't know, you can read it if you want, you also don't have to. These are thumbnails for our first assignment in color for my illustration class was to draw 4 different phrases and use color and different color things to show the emotion of the piece. So like, yeah, so these are the ones that I did. I wish I had the piece with me. It's in here somewhere, but I don't want to go find it. But apple of my eye, it's like love, apples are red, you know. So I think I did an analogous color one with that, where it was like red, yellow, and orange. Then speak of the devil, I did this one right here where it was green and red, sort of like a split composition where the face was green, so like green like you're sick, you know, like, you know that feeling like if you were talking smack about someone and they show up behind you and then you just feel like sick, like you're caught. Yeah, and then red is an obvious association with the devil. Bite the Bullet was monogamous color palette, and I chose this one here, where someone is reaching for a gun, so like they're biting the bullet. But I chose to do it in blue because blue to me reads as like a really anxious color, and I feel like biting the bullet is a very anxious action that you have to take. So yeah, we also had to do another one. I did another one where it's like nail on the head, and I think I chose this silly one here. Oh no, I chose this one. And I chose purple and yellow. I don't even know why. I didn't like that one at all. But, and then you could only color in gouache. I'm not kidding. And I'm a watercolor painter. I don't like gouache. So we were practicing with gouache, and it was actually really fun. But don't let her tell me. Don't let her hear me say that. But this is like a little grass thing. But this is just, yeah. Some more. These are just doodles. Trying to do different shapes and body types. Never really works out. Like, the sketches always work out, but stuff never really works out. These were actually thumbnails for our next piece, but I already kind of forgot. It was like a propaganda one or something. So I drew a woman hitting a guy on the head with her purse. Random body. We had to do, these poses are thumbnails for we had 2 illustrations going on at the same time, and one of them was for like a competition where like I don't know, some department in our school wanted to use our art to advertise like mental wellness programs, so I chose like yoga poses, and yeah, it was cool. These are some thumbnails for my final project, but we'll get more into it later. Ooh, yes. So at this time last year, I had bought, an ink pen, as in a dip pen, and this ink, I kept the box, but it's Pilot ink, and my comics professor had recommended this to me. He said this was the ink, the pen, and the nib that professional manga artists use. So this was when that stuff came in the mail and I was practicing it. And this was actually a thumbnail for a traditional gouache painting of a character reference sheet, because we had an assignment where we had to basically draw like we were in the pipeline for an animation job. And so these were thumbnail attempts at that for Cole, and I really like this one. It's like, it's weird trying to draw his arms because I don't know how to draw his arms in a way where his scars are both noticeable but subtle, because there's a lot of them, so they're obvious, but they're also old, so they're not supposed to look fresh or anything. And also, just like, I don't think it's something I should put a warning on necessarily because of the context in story, because they're not scars that he did himself. So I try to draw them in a way where it won't be triggering for people to look at, but like, I see like this is maybe too much, but it's just a weird balance because it's something I'm comfortable with too. I'm not just thinking of everyone else. I don't want to super triggering art in my sketchbook. But Gwen, I love Gwen. This is just more like trying out like what my style would look like if this were like a real manga, or if I was drawing it traditionally. Oh, that's not true. I'm still here. Yeah, little bubbles. Oh, I love her. Ooh, this is the spread. This is the spread to end the century. So this is the full thumbnail of those yoga poses I was telling you about, and this page actually got really messed up due to smudging and whatever, but this looks so good. And this one too, my friend has a Pinterest board of all these really detailed like couture, I don't know how to say it, but like really high fashion like clothing on Pinterest, and she sent it to me, and so I drew Gwen in a bunch of like really strange detailed outfits, and it's one of my most favorite things to do. This is also like a headless Gwen down here, but covered in ink. I didn't ink this one just because I was so scared to mess it up, but this one looks so good. I love I love it. But this is kind of what the thumbnail for that yoga pose thing turned out to be. And then this is a detailed thumbnail of my finals, and if you watch my vlogs from last year during finals season, you'll see this in better detail before it got smudged, obviously. But yeah. No notes. I love this page. Still drawing Gwen in very high fashion outfits, just because I think she would have a very exaggerated style, like living in New York City and being irresponsible with money. And I'm still practicing with the inks and stuff, obviously. All the inking you see in here is not microns. It is with a dip pen and dipping into the ink. And he looks so cool. I didn't feel like drawing him with the horns then, I guess, but yeah. What is this? I don't know what that is. Yeah, just doodles. Sometimes I just be doodling. More of those high fashion looks. And this was when I was trying to like make a logo for the comic and like trying to put together a website. I paid like $11 for a card premium subscription, and I haven't used it. I put together the website, like I tried to, and then realized I wouldn't have been able to do anything that I wanted to do for the website, and got really upset, so I haven't touched it since. Yeah, just like trying to do more graphic work and stuff, I suppose. Yeah, trying to do more graphic work and stuff. I really like this. I drew all of this and then was like, I'm not going to be able to get this symmetrical with this side, so I took a picture and I drew it on Procreate. And I'm covering this because it's not like actually inappropriate, but it looks like it is, but I don't care. I like drawing my characters without a lot of clothes. It's not necessarily a weird thing. It's a good anatomy study because I don't like studying anatomy. I only like drawing my characters. But sometimes it can look like it's strange. And yeah, we're nearing the end because this is my I was like trying to draw a D&D character for this campaign my little brother was planning, and he really likes medieval, like Europe type looks. So I had like this priestess kind of character. It was interesting. She was cool. We need to do that campaign again because he was really excited for it. But yeah, so that's the end of this sketchbook. And then we're gonna move on to this one. And I got this University of Hartford sticker at a portfolio day event where I went to the University of Hartford and talked to a bunch of different schools. I talked to the UHart Art School, and I talked to SVA mainly. Yeah, and then all of these stickers are from when my boyfriend and I went to New Hampshire, and I had these for like a year before I put them on the sketchbook because I just didn't know where else I was gonna put them. But yeah. Let's see if I put a starting date. I started on January 27th, 2025, and this is for my drawing 2 and figure drawing class. And the reason why I'm not using this sketchbook and I bought a bigger one is because one of my classes required it to be a large sketchbook. So otherwise I would still be using this for my classes this semester. But these are pages from another sketchbook I tried, but I hated the paper so much I couldn't do it. But like Cole and Gwen, I taped them in because I just loved them so much, but some Cole and Gwen doodles, and then some thumbnails. Ocean Vuong is he's an alumni of my college, and so last year he was doing a lot of collaborations with our art department and like showing off his photography and coming back for like to do poetry readings and stuff. He came back to our campus like 3 times. It was really cool. I got to meet him. I got a signed copy of his book. And so for my art teacher was the head of the department, so she was collaborating with him a lot. So she wanted us to do an assignment where we drew out one of his poems, and I chose Snow Angel from Time as a Mother. And this is actually the thumbnail I ended up using. I really like this one a lot more, and I like this one as well. My professor says that apparently they liked the finished one that I made, even though I hate it, and she like really wanted to try to get them to purchase it. But they as in Ocean Vuong and his husband. But I'm really glad they didn't, because I thought it was really bad. And these are just I don't even know what these are. Principles of art, I think, that my figure drawing teacher was talking about. And some thumbnails for a ballpoint piece. And then some homework where we had to draw a bunch of hands. And I got points off for these being too stylized. And I understand being upset about that, I guess. But when it's one of those professors that's like, nothing you ever turn in will ever be a 100, it's never going to be good enough to be a 100, I get really mad because clearly I know how to draw a hand. It's just a little stylized. Are you seriously, like, you're not, the requirements of the homework was not to draw realism, it was to draw a bunch of hands. So I feel like I shouldn't have gotten points off for that. And I drew this little turn me sign on here because we would put out our sketchbooks every class period when we had homework for everyone to look through. So I wanted to give my classmates permission to flip through. And just some more of the hands. And I tried to date as much as I could so that you can see when I was making these. I don't like this page, but this is when I was trying to figure out like what Gwen's art style would be in Universe, because she is an artist. And I think she'd have this very like ethereal anime inspired art. I don't know. I don't think it would look like mine at all. And this is some Prismacolor practice because we had to use Prismacolors. And this was really fun actually. Yeah. This was like a sketch that didn't work out that I turned into this. We had to do a value study with colors of like, you know, the traditional value sphere thing. And I thought it'd be really cool to do it in rainbow, and my professor thought that that was really cool as well. So yeah, she thought it was cute. This is when Perverts came out by Ethel Cain. Actually, you could see that I drew the hands like after it came out, like literally a month after. But I listen to stuff on my own time. I'm not gonna drop everything I'm doing just because someone released an album. And I literally, you saw me wearing Ethel Cain merch. I just saw her 2 days ago. If you are keeping track of my video uploading schedule, you can tell that I recorded a lot of videos at once. instead of spacing it out. I have no idea when any of these will come out. But so this is from when I listened to Perverts and I got to Vacillator, and there's a line that she says that I'm not going to repeat because my mommy watches these. So I like, whenever there's a lyric that like shocks me, that I'm like, what, did they just say that? I draw Cole being like, what? And so yeah, some skeletons for figure studying, and like medial, like just random stuff. And this was an apple. This is like a practice with Prismacolors that we were going to draw a more detailed apple later. But yeah. And this one's actually my boyfriend's OC, not mine. This is Rhiannon, not Gwen. They look the same because, again, I have same face syndrome. So I drew that to clarify. But in graphite, it's really hard to tell the difference between the two. So these were some sketches during my figure studies class. This was like drawn from a live model. We were trying to figure out the contrapposto pose, which is basically where like you can see that he has all of the weight on his body on one foot. This one's up in the air, like not bouncing anything. Yeah, I did not like that day. Oh, these are notes where we had to do gallery. Like we went to our art gallery on the campus, and I think it's really cool that I have an art gallery at a community college. Just throwing that out there, I think it's awesome. But we had to go to the art gallery and like analyze a piece of work and the artist that was doing it, so you don't have to read all that. Blah blah blah. Oh yes, this was, we had to do a drawing. If my voice sounds different, I'm sorry, I'm trying to talk louder to compensate, but my legs are getting really tired. So, my legs are getting very tired, so I sat down. So I hope I don't sound too different, and I apologize if I do. But we got an assignment where we had to draw like a junk food still life, because my professor really liked how vibrant like junk food bags are, because they're meant to catch your eye basically. And this was the sketch I did because I chose some Doritos bags. She wanted us to try it out in our sketchbooks before we started our actual piece, so that's why I did that. And this is from my figure studies class where we were figuring out how to draw the face and the skull. And these are two of my classmates. Hold up, I have to stand up again. Yeah, these are two of my classmates. This is my friend Awen, and this is one of my classmates, Marisha. And it was really cool drawing their face. We sat together in like groups of 4, and we went in a circle drawing each other's faces, and I wasn't able to get to the last person because we ran out of time, and I was the first model. That's why I only have 2. But I loved drawing their faces because they had like such great poses, and they were both just really beautiful. Like, I had some pretty friends. And this is my figure drawing teacher's husband. She, one of her models called out and said they couldn't make it, so she asked her husband to, and she lives 2 hours away, so she asked her husband to drive up, and he did, and he played guitar for us and was our model. And I was standing very far away when I drew this one, and for this one I got a lot closer, and this one is a lot more successful. But I really like it, and I just thought it was really sweet that she was like, honey, come play guitar for my students. And he was really good. We had to do homework for figure studies. Most of my homework is for figure studies, by the way, but where we drew a lot of different types of faces. So I just went on Pinterest and I just looked up faces and was trying to draw older people, trying to capture more like ethnic features. I believe this was an older Mexican woman. This was a younger Asian woman. I didn't quite do my best, I think, but I tried. I think I did well with the age, but I think her ethnicity or race is quite ambiguous. Like, I don't think, like, if I told you she was like Asian, I think you would believe it, but I also think like this was definitely an indigenous Mexican woman, and I think you could also tell that, but it's only after I tell you. So I really want to get better at you being able to like spot exactly what's like where someone is from how I draw it, like how you can see it on their face, but I'm not quite there yet. This was the background for the junk food still life, because we didn't have to draw a realistic background, and so I was trying to figure out how to make like a 90s arcade cabinet like pattern. Arcade like rug, not cabinet, sorry, I'm mixing up my words. I love this page. This is when we were studying the skull. So it's just a skull. Yeah, there's skeletons and things and stuff. Here's some poses. These are all from Pinterest. I believe we had homework to go and do it, or maybe I did these for fun. And these are a bunch of figure artists that my teacher recommended, and John Singer Sargent's was my favorite of the demos that she was showing us. This is practice with charcoal and drawing sticks and junk. And this is, ooh, I love this. You're gonna see the planning process for this huge piece I made that, it's like, so we got the assignment and it was to combine 3 different types of animals, and some people went crazy. Some people drew like a dog and a crocodile and a monarch butterfly, and like my friend drew like a panda and a rhino and something else. I think like a hyena. I am not sure. I don't know. But I chose to go really subtle with it, and I chose a lamb, a goat, and a pig. So it just looks like a lamb, but so it's like a lamb's body, a goat's eyes, and then pig hooves, and it was like this whole religious thing that I don't really want to explain, but I really loved the planning process. There's a lot of Ethel Cain lyrics, as you can see. Kind of spoke to me. And then here's kind of just another sketch of that same thing. Yeah, some more figure studies. I think this was supposed to be like literally, this was supposed to be from life and from observation, and she was like, yeah, just like go to a cafe and do this thing. And I was like, yeah girl, like I can drive to a cafe. So I did this the day of on campus and just wandered around like staring at people and drawing them. It was really awkward. And these, I think these were all in class, and that's why they look a little crazier. This is the start of some I Want to Eat Your Guts fan art, because I love Kate and Alex, but I always forget that I want to draw them. This is a study, as in kind of a direct copy of a to make a drawing, because sometimes I just go back and do that because it's really fun. I just like doing that. And this one's fairly accurate, which is kind of scary. I don't really like that. I mean, I do, but I like that my style has become more of my own style rather than a direct copy of hers. I think it's a really cool progression my art has taken. And this is Cole in an outfit that I really like the thought of, because I don't think he's genuinely the type of guy to like wear fishnet like arm warmers because he likes it, but he's, like I explained, he's got a lot of scars on his arms, and he's kind of insecure about that, so he's always wearing these big sweaters. Like I only really draw him in stuff that covers his arms, unless he's not, and then that's supposed to show that he's really comfortable. But something about Cole's character is that he plays a lot of like music shows and stuff, and like I assume you'd get really like hot doing that. So I thought this would be an interesting way to solve his solution, where he just wears a normal t-shirt and like a flannel, but he rolls it up and then wears the fishnet thing so that you still can't see it, but he's actually like able to cool off instead of overheat to death on stage. Okay, so this was just a fun pose. I think it just came from my mind. Sometimes that happens, and it's always with Gwen. Don't read that, but it's like a video essay idea, because in my head I want to make video essays, but I never like start doing them. This was thumbnailing for a print that we were making out of old milk cartons. We cut up old milk cartons or like juice cartons and stuff, and then we like carved into them and made wood blocking, like kind of like a wood block print or like a linoleum print, but with a milk carton. And this was like a recycling thing, and it was just like a fun end of the semester assignment that my drawing professor wanted to do, because she just thought it was a really interesting process. And then during figure studies, our in-class final, mind you, we had an out-of-class final and an in-class final. So our in-class final was the entire time in class, it was a 3-hour study where we had to do the one figure pose, or it was 2 figures, like one sitting in front, one sitting in back. And so this was thumbnailing for that during class. And then, is that the last page? No, it's not. Oh, this is from last month. This is when I was trying to use this for class before I got the recommendation to size up my sketchbook. So my final for my illustration class, I'm in illustration 2 now rather than illustration 1 like I was in this sketchbook. And so illustration 2 is all about planning for your final, which is going to be 8 illustrations in a series. So what I want to do is have 8 illustrations that are basically functioning as comic book covers for my OC story. So, like, for example, one second. So, Evangelion is one of my biggest artistic inspirations, and that includes the manga. Actually, I kind of like the manga more than the anime, but I haven't watched the anime in a minute, so. But you see how, like, the covers are all kind of different, but these are actually all kind of similar covers. But this is just the first, second, and third volumes. They also have all of this art inside that's, sorry, like some cool illustrations just to break up the chapters. And so I'm trying to like make my series is basically like this but with my characters of just cool illustrations that look fun, you know, and that are fun to draw. So let me put these away real quick. Sorry, the camera's gonna shake because these would have been much smarter to bring out. I have this art book that I kind of regret purchasing because the artist for Evangelion is kind of a pervert, who would have known? But these are huge versions of those covers I was bringing up. He's a pervert, but by God is he a amazing artist. So this is all with that ink I was using, and also acrylic ink to color in, rather than Copic. So I actually purchased some acrylic ink, and I am testing out coloring with it, and I actually really like it so far. But yeah, so this guy's weird, but he's got some beautiful work, and I have to sadly list him as a point of inspiration. And like, this stuff doesn't look bad, okay? But then like, there's this drawing, and in the back of the book he says he wished he drew this sexier, and they're two 14-year-olds. They don't need to be sexy. They should be having a sleepover. But anyways, Evangelion art rant aside, that's kind of the vibe I'm going for. And so these were all some thumbnails that I wanted to do. And I want to have, because we have to do 8 pieces, I want to have 4 pieces focused on like cryptic backstory, and then 4 pieces on Cole and Gwen's like actual romance and everything. And I wish I had my other sketchbook that had more fleshed out thumbnails, because I worked on these my first day of class and then I switched to sketchbooks. But yeah, this is it. And then like some notes. But again, scrapped this sketchbook immediately after. So I still want to use this as like a junk book, but because I have a bigger one, I'm using that instead. So yeah, that was the end of my sketchbook tour. Normally at this time, like I did in the last, like when I looked at the first 3 sketchbooks I made, I showed a little bit of my sketchbook, of my 4th sketchbook. But I don't think I'm going to do that right now, because I do want to finish this, and I do want to make an entire tour of it. And if I keep doing these like mini in-between sketchbook tours, by the time I get to this one, you'll have already seen it in multiple different videos. So I feel like it loses that kind of charm. But I will, you know, I'll give you guys a peek. Okay, I'll find one page that I really like, and I'll show you guys that. So I don't really like this spread because it's not finished. This is some Naruto fan art that I need to finish, and this is Deltarune fan art. And I'm showing you backwards so that you come back later for a sketchbook 4 video in about 3 years. And then I have this Hello Kitty Starface box, and they were actually really good pimple patches, if I'm being for real. But if you flip up, it's them. It's like a little photo booth. It was really cute, and I actually made a TikTok of me lining it because I thought it'd be fun. But yeah, so we're done with the sketchbook tour now. Sorry if the audio is weird. Air conditioner's running. I'm not about to suffer to record a video, so y'all are gonna suffer hearing it. Yeah, it was kind of fun to make because I haven't done a sketchbook tour in so long. Sorry, that's the map. I fidget when I have to do the outro. But I haven't done a sketchbook tour in so long, and I've had that idea to show you guys more of my thought process, and it feels a little more rewarding to show it like that because I did those sketchbooks without the intention of doing this, and because of that I like the art that I made in them a lot more, so it feels more like a choice to show this to you guys rather than an obligation with my main sketchbook. So yeah, I hope you liked. Thank you for watching. Watch my other sketchbook tours if you haven't seen them. A lot of them are really old, so you can go watch the old, like the newer, like re-look at all of them rather than like hear my voice from my freshman year of high school. But you could also go and watch those. I have a lot of other videos that are more like vloggy. I'm saying all this with the thought of someone new watching this, but if you're old, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. But yeah, hopefully this video doesn't take forever to come out. It probably will. Yeah. Bye!